Hey, what's up, y'all? Jordan here, back with another video. I'm just gonna go over one of my new songs on my new album called Try Me. I already have laid down my vocals. I just got the vocals from my feature. It's a buddy of mine named Austin, aka Totech. We're gonna go ahead and start from scratch. I'm just gonna chop these. What he sent me are the stems. You got the main verse stem, backing vocal stem, ad-lib stem, and the dub stem. This is a sneak preview because the album hasn't come out yet, so feel grateful. You feel me? All right, let's play part of the chorus leading into his verse. I have the backing vocals muted so that you could just kind of get a rough idea of how it sounds to start.
Yeah. When I think about absolute perfection, that's you. That's you. Yo. Yeah. When I think about it, you're the perfect one. Absolute perfection. I love your complexion. I love our connection. Conversation at its finest.
The vocals are perfect. That waveform, I love it. It is just right. We can work with it. Some people sometimes they send you like really high distorted sounds, and it's like, dude, I can't do anything with that. Let's go ahead and go in. I already have all of my vocal chains mixed up and everything like that. It's actually mixed in with all of the beat chains that I did. It's the legit song. All the beat stuff I did is up here, and then down below is where all my vocals go. And it just kind of happened as I recorded. I don't really have a specific place to put it just yet. We're in the early stages. So I'm going to go on over here. I'm going to put a separator right here because I don't believe anything is being used at this spot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to first start out with an EQ. I'm going to plug this into number 35 because that track that we just had was at 34. I'm going to link all of the vocals to track 34. Track 34 is going to be the bus track. I like to use bus tracks more than anything else because I feel like I have a lot more freedom to do the things that I want to do. I can keep all the vocals the same, and then I can also save some CPU space, which is always good because that stuff gets many after a while. So let's go to rename. We're going to type Toltec Vox Bus. And we'll give him the good old blue color, steel blue, not just blue, steel blue. I'm going to go into track 35. I'm going to unlink it from the master track, and I'm going to link it to the bus track. And I'm going to do the same thing for 36, 37, and I think 38. I hope I did that right. I might have skipped one on accident. I did. Whoopsies. Bingo. Okay, cool. So let's start doing that. I'll link that one there. I like to have a couple of reverbs to choose from, or I just mix them together because, I mean, that's kind of what all the professionals do. They don't just have one reverb. Not all the time. You know, things are always different. People do things however they do it. There is no one way necessarily how to do things. This is just an example. The longer that you're in this, the more that you're able to kind of figure stuff out on your own. So like I just did with all the other stuff, I'm going to rename this. I'm going to do Toltec main. Give him a light blue color. I'll do all of his. Okay, cool. Everything's renamed. Everything is structured pretty well, so we know exactly what's going on. Then when I do my delays and my verbs, my reverbs, sorry, I can go ahead and just link them to the things that are already set out so that it matches my verse. So my verse starts out over here.
Yeah. There are a lot of girls posting on IG, but only you remain the only one I see.
So that's going to be the sound that I'm going to try and aim for his vocals too. So this is the end of the chorus.
Yeah. When I think about absolute perfection, that's you. That's you. Yo. Yeah. When I think about it, you're the perfect one. Absolute perfection. I love your complexion. I love our connection.
Cool. So let's jump on in. Let's get the EQ going. That's my first thing that I like to do. Okay. So let's go ahead and start right here. Okay. All right, so let me show you what the EQ so far has done. When I pull it back about, I don't know, I put it, I think 180, 190, even in 200s is fine, but, you know, it's whatever people like to do. So I'm going to go ahead and mute it and play it.
Yeah. When I think about it, you're the perfect one. Absolute perfection.
And then I'm going to add it.
When I think about it, you're the perfect one. Absolute perfection.
So what I might do is add a little bit more back to it, because his voice isn't necessarily that deep. So, you know, high pass is good. You know, you can make sure that deeper vocals are isolated. The second thing we're going to look for when we watch the EQ play, we're going to watch the waveform. And you can pretty much tell like what is going on in the vocal, if something needs to be added or something needs to be brought down. And then you'll find that doing rap vocals with EQ sometimes, or I should say oftentimes, is very similar with everything. When I show you what I do, it's just pretty much what I do for everything.
When I think about it, you're the perfect one. Absolute perfection. I love your complexion. I love our connection. Conversation at its finest. Ain't no detection of who's this or who you like. And I know you're the best one for me forever. Ever, ever, yeah, that's right. Drowning, I love you, and that's really how I feel. I won't conceal my feelings, no way. Ayo type is ideal, and
as you can see, it changed the vocal entirely. Let's hear it with the beat. We're gonna have to connect his verse here to this guy so that it'll beef up his vocals a little bit. Otherwise, that beat is gonna overpower it.
Yo. Yeah. When I think about it, you're the perfect one. Absolute perfection. I love your complexion. I love our connection. There are a lot of girls posting on IG. Think about it, you're the perfect one. Absolute perfection. I love your. Yeah. Think about it, you're the perfect.
So that is pretty close already, and all we've done is one EQ. And once again, the bus track is excellent for all of the vocals if you want all of these vocals to sound the same. If you want things to be different, then you can actually add certain things onto the individual tracks, like track 35, track 36. If I wanted to open up track 36, I could totally do that, and it wouldn't harm the rest of the tracks. I could have his main vocal do one thing, and then I can like open up his dubs, so his dubs are spaced out, but it won't affect the mains. Let's move on. I'm gonna add another EQ to it, because what I like to do afterwards is I like to make sure that all of the bad frequencies, so to speak, are brought back down, bring them into submission. So we're gonna play it again, and we're gonna just watch the waveform just like we did before, and we're gonna handle business. Let's go.
Think about it, you're the perfect one. Absolute perfection. I love your complexion. I love our connection. Conversation at its finest. Ain't no detection of who's this or who you like. And I know you're the best one for me forever. Ever, ever. Yeah, that's right. I just wanna hold you tight. Think about it, you're the perfect one. Absolute perfection. I love your complexion. I love our connection. Conversation at its finest. Ain't no detection of who's this or who you like. And I know you're the best one for me forever, ever, ever. Yes, right. I just wanna hold you tight like a coat when I get some down the way speak, some down the way moves, and things I like to do.
So I dropped him down about negative 3.5. It's just what I've seen is the best thing to do. Anywhere between 3 and 4. That right there is going to clean up some harsh frequencies, and it's going to make this vocal sound even better than it already does. You're going to want to add some compression to it. Fruity Loops does have a compressor, and it does have presets in it. You can mess with these just to figure out what's going to sound right. But what we'll do is just mess with Master 1 and see how it sounds.
Think about it, you're the perfect one. Absolute perfection. I love your complexion. I love our connection. Conversation at its finest.
On.
Ain't no detection of who's this or who you like. And I know you're the best one for me forever. Ever, ever. Yeah, that's right. I just wanna hold you tight like a cold winter night.
I'm going to be cool with that. And again, honestly, there's so many other ways to do compression. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to go into Maximus. And this is kind of a de-esser. It really works well. I like to do split band. You punch that in right there, and then you play it. And look at the difference that just Maximus does here.
Think about it, you're the perfect one. Absolute perfection. I love your complexion. I love our connection. Conversation at its finest. Ain't no detection of who's this or who you like. And I know you're the best one.
Might be subtle, but it still works. I'm going to go ahead and leave that on there. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw on a de-esser I'm gonna plug in Sibilance by Waves. Waves is awesome. I have Sibilance and I have Harmony, and they are just fantastic plugins. I recommend that you check them out. I'm not being sponsored by the company, but I just want to put it out there that they are pretty cool. I really like their work. What I'm gonna do then is this line right here, these two blue lines, or I should say the greener lines, then the blue ones in between, these two greener lines. We're gonna close this down on the vocal. I'd say about 30. In between 30 and 34 is probably a good idea. And I also cranked the range up to about 13.8 or 14, whatever I think is needed. Too much and it's not going to sound normal. When you move over to the detection side, you're going to ask the program to get out the harsh sounds, the S's, the T's, and so forth. Or when you crank it over towards the right, you're going to get more into the SH sounds, the CH sounds, and that type of stuff. And then the mode is a little similar. Okay, I like to go towards the wide side because it opens up the program to pay attention closely to all of those harsh frequencies. And there are videos out there specifically on this that can dive in deeper and be more in depth. So check those out. Like I said, Waves, Sibilance, off the hook. Okay, so now we have our EQ, we've got a compressor going, Maximus to kind of help with a little bit of the de-essing and compressing. Then we've got a de-esser that's on it right now. What we should probably start doing is putting our vocals, side chaining them to the delays and to the verbs, to the reverbs. Here we're going to just go into the main, his main vocal. We're going to turn down the reverb to 60%. Then we're going to go and side chain to the delay, and we're going to go 100% because as we can see, the knobs are turned down real well. So let's check it out.
Think about it, get a perfect one. Absolute perfection. I love your complexion. I love our connection.
Let's hear it with the beat.
At its finest, ain't no detection of who's this or who you like, and I know you're the best one. Yeah, for me, forever. Ever, get us right.
Ooh, it's coming together, man. All right, so let's go back into the bus. Actually, let's go into his dubs, and then let's open those dubs like this. Okay. And then I'll just cock that over just a little tiny bit. All right, let's go ahead and let's get these back on, and let's check these bad boys out.
Think about it, get a perfect one. Absolute perfection. I love your complexion. I love our connection. Conversation at its finest. Ain't no detection of who's this or who you like, and I know you're the best one. Yeah. For me, forever. Ever, get us right. I just wanna hold you tight.
So typically, I like to just leave vocals alone like this. I know he sent me a backing vocal, and I'll go ahead and play that track. It's going to play low, though, just to make it have that professional sound, you know what I'm saying? That sound. Let's go ahead and play it. I unmuted it, so I'm going to turn it down a little bit, and then we'll kind of figure out what it's going to sound like.
Think about it, get a perfect one. Absolute perfection. I love your complexion. I love our connection. Conversation at its finest. Ain't no detection of who's this or who you like, and I know you're the best one. Yeah. For me, forever. Ever, get us right. I just wanna hold you tight.
All right, so everything sounds pretty good so far. It's pretty much all I'm going to need on his vocals. What I'm going to do to finish it off is even though his vocals are, for the most part, very, very balanced, because, his voice is a good mid-range. It's not too high, not too low. It's just right there, nice and steady. We'll throw on a limiter anyway, just so if there's any highs, any peaking vocals at all, we'll just bring them down so that they can stay in tune. It just makes the entire vocal sound complete.
Get a perfect one.
Let's bring the ceiling down a little bit.
Think about it, get a perfect one. Absolute perfection. I love your complexion. I love our connection. Conversation at its finest. Ain't no detection.
Last thing we'll do is throw on some saturation.
Think about it, get a perfect one. Absolute perfection. I love your complexion. I love our connection.
You don't got to crank up the saturation at all. You can just, throw it on there, give it a little bit, and it'll be awesome. So yeah, as soon as you get the volume down and everything is correct, you got yourself a cool little song. put it all together, go into the master track. You know, Maximus is good for mastering songs, and then if you've got Ozone is fantastic. I am such a big fan of iZotope and Ozone and all the stuff that they have. Again, I'm not being paid to give them shout outs. I'm just letting y'all know my personal preference, and that's what it is. It's really all about preference. Everybody gets to kind of do whatever they want to do, and that's totally cool. So anyway, I hope you found this video helpful to get you started with what you need to do. God bless y'all, and Lord willing, we'll see y'all next time.
When I think about it, you're the perfect one. Absolute perfection. I love your complexion. I love our connection. Conversation at its finest. Ain't no detection of who's this or who you like, and I know you're the best one.